Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly in the At Your Beck and Call segment. Tonight, as you may know, Glenn Beck's name came up. During my interview with Jon Stewart, the comedian believing Beck is whipping up the folks against President Obama. I say the Beckmeister is simply saying what he really believes. He's every man. He sits on a bar stool.
Every man's got a show? What are you talking about?
He's talented.
He's a very talented man.
Right.
Where's every man?
It means that he doesn't shill for any party. He just spouts. He spouts what he believes. Oh, if you think that Beck shills for the Republican Party, you're out of your mind. So there you go, Beck. I mean, Jon Stewart, he's not a far-left guy, but he does represent liberal America.
Sure.
He's a classic liberal.
Sure.
And he just thinks you're
No, he's not a classic liberal.
What do you mean?
A classic liberal is more like a libertarian. I'm sorry, just playing John. I just thought it was nice the way Jon Stewart wanted to make sure you were educated, Bill. Classic liberal, actually, from the 1800s, has a totally different meaning than a liberal who is classic as you think of him now.
He's a classic 2010
Yes,
liberal,
he is.
all right?
He
represents
he knows
people
better than you
who
do.
aren't far-left kooks,
Right.
but who do believe the government has a bigger role to play. Now, but the far left and the classic 210 liberals all think that you're just trying to rip up the country for nefarious reasons.
May I quote Barack Obama in his prayer breakfast yesterday? Paraphrase. He said, how is it you can question my policies, but don't question my motives? How come the president can insist on people not questioning his motives? Because we're all Americans. But my motives have to be questioned.
Your motive is just purely profit. Am I wrong?
Oh my God! Cha-ching! My motive
just
is
money.
Look, my motive is when I first got into radio, I was 13, so it was entertain, have fun, etc., etc. Now my motive for saying the things that I say is radically different. It changed on September 11th. I didn't feel that I was educated enough or the guy to speak to America after September 11th. So I dedicated myself to read, to study, to learn, to seek out information. My motive now is I've got 4 children. I'd like an America to be around. It's why I took on the Republican Party during Bush and said, look at what they're doing.
Yeah, I hit Stewart for that. That was crazy. So you want to save the country. You basically want to save it.
Well, no, I don't think I don't think I'm going to be the guy saving it.
No, but you're like a
up.
Paul Revere.
Yeah, wake up.
With a strange haircut.
Trouble is coming with a strange haircut.
Yeah, Paul Revere with a strange haircut. But Stewart doesn't see you that way. He doesn't think that you're Paul Revere. He thinks that you're a destructomaniac, that you're here to
Come on, say it.
deconstruct.
He thinks I'm the Antichrist, which would be a really good disguise for the Antichrist. You'd never see a pudgy, out-of-shape guy at 5 o'clock in the afternoon being the Antichrist, would you?
All right, now, when you saw the whole interview with Stewart and I, did you enjoy it? Was it worthy?
No, look, I think Jon Stewart is a smart guy. I think he's a funny guy. I've always enjoyed Jon Stewart. I don't agree with Jon Stewart on an awful lot, but God bless America. I mean, he has a right to have his opinion. I have a right to...
No animus toward him?
No.
Don't think he's destroying the country?
No.
I do. I think Stewart is absolutely destroying. Because and here's why. Just hear me out for a minute. If you watch his show, you almost have to smoke marijuana just to get through it.
Really?
So he's kind of undermining the
So
whole
have you ever
fabric,
watched the show?
Right? No. Because I never smoked marijuana.
Right. Okay. So you've never watched it? Here's the thing.
We're only kidding out there, you loons. This is the humorous part of the factor.
This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. We're doing what liberals do. Neither of us have ever watched the show. I didn't even really watch the interview last night, but I'll tell you what I think about him.
Right. All right, so you enjoy the interview. You don't take it personally.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I mean...
Let's get to something a little more serious.
I think
I want you to react, because you brought it up, to this clip from President Obama at that prayer breakfast. Go.
Civility also requires relearning how to disagree without being disagreeable. But surely you can question my policies without questioning my faith. Or, for that matter, my citizenship.
I like that. What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that.
It wasn't that good?
I thought it was, I mean, I think it's interesting. I'd like to know if it was in the teleprompter or if it was an ad lib, because this proves my point to all these people who are like, you birther, I'm a birther. Who's bringing up the birther? The only time I ever see a birther is like in a parking lot with a sign, and you're like, okay, don't look that way. Who's bringing it up? This administration brings it up all the time. They need the birth certificate thing because it
I
unites
agree with you
their
100%.
base. The birthers are.
I agree with you. I think
you might as well just go on the payroll for Barack Obama.
I think the reason they didn't never produce the birth certificate is because they wanted these loons out there.
Hang on, I think he has produced the birth certificate, the one that Hawaii
No,
gives.
we have a facsimile, but I want him to send it directly to me. But President Obama is right when he says, I think, that you can disagree with his politics all day long.
Sure.
But you don't have to tear him up as a human being.
Do you think I tear him up as a human
No,
being?
I don't. I don't think that you're an Obama hater. And I've told that to Stewart and all these other pinheads.
No, they don't. Because they
I
don't
basically
watch
say, look, Beck is every man. He's sitting on a bar stool. He's got a traditional view of the country.
Why does he keep using this?
Because
every time he says bar stool,
you're
I'm
like Norm. You remember Cheers?
Yes.
You're like Norm.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Everyone
a fat
likes
joke.
you.
See? Alcoholic fat joke.
Okay.
You see what he does to
Everyone
me?
knows
This
your
is what
name.
happens every time.
Everyone knows your name. They like you.
Afternoon, everybody.
It's Glenn instead of Norm.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Got it.
All right.
Got it.
But you have a perfect right to
Since
say
we're-
whatever you want.
May I say something?
Yes.
Since the two of us sit next to each other at this bar stool, does that make you Cliff Clavin?
It does. It does. And I am just as obnoxious as Cliff.
No, seriously, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I hope this works out to be, sort of a long-term arrangement for you. Long enough, anyway, for them to see you wear your other suit.
All right. There you go. You feel better now? Do you feel better?
Strangely, I do.
Okay. Glenn Beck, everybody.
Thank you, Bill.